Live Nation has reached a surprise settlement in its antitrust case with the Justice Department, successfully allowing the concert giant to avoid a breakup with Ticketmaster. Now, a senior justice official said today's deal will drive down prices by giving artists and fans a bit more choice.
Now, this follows a week of testimony in a closely watched trial that sought to potentially dismantle the live entertainment company. Federal prosecutors argued that Live Nation operated as a monopoly. Live Nation denied any wrongdoing. NBC News business and economy reporter Allie Canal has been following this and joins us now. So let's talk about the terms of this deal, when it was reached, and how does it address the key concern here that Live Nation and Ticketmaster were really dominant in this space?
Well, the biggest takeaway here is that Live Nation avoided its worst case scenario, which was a full company breakup. Now, what this settlement does is it attempts to address certain practices of the company. So here's what we know so far. The Ticketmaster will have to open parts of its ticketing system so rival companies like SeatGeek, like StubHub, they can sell primary tickets through the platform. The company is also required to divest up to 13 amphitheaters and reserve half of tickets for venues that are not locked into exclusive deals. So there is still that level of exclusivity, just a bit more limited in scope. A senior justice official on a background call with reporters said the DOJ was excited about this deal. But there are experts out there who are saying this doesn't fully change the landscape when it comes to the power that Live Nation has within the live entertainment business.
You've talked about divestment and exclusivity and even power more generally, but what about the prices? What does this mean for the prices, not only for the fans, but also for the artists?
Right, and that's the big question here. I think when it comes to consumers, what we could see when we're looking at these ticket prices, the impact could be modest. However, a lot of what we see when it comes to these higher prices doesn't have anything to do with this Live Nation Ticketmaster merger. It has a lot to do with the unregulated secondary ticket market. So I don't think we're going to see much of an impact there. For artists, it could give them more choice, more variability, and I think in and of itself, in theory, that could drive down prices. But we're going to have to wait and see. We're not going to see any significant changes overnight. This is clearly going to take some time.
And Allie, it ain't over till it's over, right? There are multiple other lawsuits stemming from states. Are those still pending?
Yeah, some states have joined the DOJ in signing this settlement, but there's a lot of others that say they will keep fighting. We did hear from New York Attorney General Letitia James saying her office is going to continue to pursue this case without the federal government. New York is among 26 states, including the District of Columbia, that's even asked the court to consider a mistrial, arguing that the settlement negotiations created confusion during the trial process. And to that point, there's been a lot of back and forth when it comes to when, how, and exactly the settlement was reached, considering we had that trial last week.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.